2012 could be a good year for tech employment. Pity your poor CEO, really. And remember that this coming Friday is Steve Jobs Day. I'm Mark Pfeffer, and this is the Dice News Update for Tuesday, October 11th, 2012. Observers say 2012 is going to be a good year for employment in IT. For example, InfoWorld says it's a great time to be in IT. It notes Gartner's claim that IT spending is going to rise by 7.1%, which is an increase from the original estimate of 5.6%. And a recent survey by the Society for Information Management says that boosting productivity and cutting costs is only the number 4 priority for CIOs next year. Why is that good news? Well, because for the last several years, those had been the top priorities. In fact, one researcher said companies aren't looking to IT as the first place to slice and dice anymore. Then there's the fact that 2/3 of the companies have already shipped jobs offshore, and very few plan to do more of it in 2012. Since the value of offshore contracts has decreased by 18% during the second quarter of this year, your job's probably safe from being offshored, at least for now. And finally, the big question: will you get a raise in 2012? Well, the answer, unfortunately, is just maybe. But 94% of CIOs predict that their IT staff salaries are going to go up next year, or at least remain where they are. Pity the poor technology CEO. No, really. The San Francisco Chronicle says no one wants to lead a tech company anymore. All the boardroom shenanigans at companies like HP and Yahoo suggest that the attraction of heading up one of these big firms isn't as bright as it once was. Today, tech hotshots would rather get into something like venture capital or create their own startups, rather than deal with entrenched corporate politics that can slow things down, if not stifle innovation. As the job gets tougher, there are fewer talented leaders who have the skills and the background to lead one of these companies. October 14th, this coming Friday, is the day that the iPhone 4S hits the stores. It's also going to be Steve Jobs Day. Organizers are urging anyone who wants to pay tribute to make Steve Jobs a conversation on Facebook or Twitter. If you want to go a step further, they suggest dressing up like Steve Jobs, wear a black turtleneck, or go further by adding a pair of Levi's 501s and a pair of New Balance. Now, a lot of Apple fans are seeing the 4S as just another iPhone, but real fans are saying that this is the iPhone for Steve because it's the last device that will be announced while Steve Jobs was still around. When the phone was first launched, a lot of people were talking about Siri, its executive assistant, or just moaning because it wasn't the iPhone 5. Well, none of that seems to matter much anymore. Like our blogger Vincent Chow said, this is the iPhone for Steve, and that's the way it's always going to be. That's it for this week. Kat Miller's going to be back with another edition of Dice TV tomorrow. I'm in Austin for the Game Developers Conference, and I'll be blogging about it for most of the week from here. Until next week, I'm Mark Pfeffer, the senior editor of Dice News, and we now return you to your regular desktop.